Welcome to the Dragon's Lair podcast with your host, Prince Dragonheart.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Dragon's Lair podcast. This is episode 2, and I have by here my good friend. How am I going to introduce you? Am I going to go your real name or your YouTube name?
YouTube name.
Lord Rexasaur.
Whilst I'm still on YouTube.
Whilst you're still on YouTube before the Purge gets you.
Before the Purge gets
It's like Star Wars, the Jedi Purge. The Empire's out to get us all.
Order 66.
Execute Order 66. Oh no, another YouTuber's gone. Goodbye. Welcome.
Why was that slightly Indian at the end?
Because I can't. Well, my Palpatine.
Yeah.
You did some Palpatine?
Yes.
Oh, you bastard. So we have a video camera set up for the first time. I'm hoping to do more of these.
It's only been 2. You made it sound as if there's been like 120.
There's an off-screen voice.
Hello? God, do you exist? No. I've just offended more people there. Panda is in the corner.
This is not a shambles.
On the other side.
She's been naughty. She's put him in the corner.
Put her in the corner.
Let's go get dance at.
And like the last episode, this will probably be uploaded on Facebook and YouTube and whatever.
Facebook?
I did share it on my Facebook.
Oh, shared it. You didn't upload it to Facebook.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Are you gonna do audios which are on Spotify and?
Yeah, but I think you got to have like 3 episodes at least before you can do that. So I'll have to do another one, and then hopefully I can get them all up on there.
We'll get someone over then.
We'll get someone over to sort that out because I'm an idiot. We do have some topics that you've kindly suggested. Totally not last minute.
No, we prepared these far in advance.
Video games, the Star Wars film, the general election, and the state of YouTube, which is the state of my channel. I could upload stuff like this, so that'll be a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So first of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
We'll come on to recent events, but otherwise I'm doing okay.
Great.
Pretty, yeah.
And as I'm the Prince of Wales, I kind of have my own water, Prince's Gate, which is sponsoring the podcast, so thank you.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. So, video games. Do you want to start with that?
Sure.
Bring up a topic and we shall discuss it then.
Sure, okay. So, obviously we're going into a new generation of consoles coming very soon, which means a lot of new games coming soon. Obviously, I've transferred now to a very big PC gamer.
Yeah.
I've recently upgraded from a laptop to an actual PC.
It was a long time coming.
Yes, it's been a while. But I find myself actually playing games that I would usually have played on console. So if I take Assassin's Creed, for example.
Right, okay.
Because I'm currently playing through Assassin's Creed Origins, as I've told you. Which we should discuss as a game as well.
Right, okay, look forward to that, yeah.
Because Assassin's Creed Syndicate, for example, when that came out, I got that for my PS4. And now I'm playing the Assassin's Creed games on my actual computer, but with a controller. Because I don't think I could ever... So I watch YouTube videos to help me, because I'm really shit when it comes to like the... when you've got those scrolls which give you like treasure. I suck at finding those, and I'm really lazy. So what I do is I look on YouTube, and a lot of these YouTube people are playing it on PC with a keyboard and mouse, and I'm like, how?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you play a lot on the console rather than on the PC.
I'm more of a console gamer now. I did go through a stage more or less when I started making YouTube videos on a regular basis that I was using the keyboard and mouse, but the keyboard and mouse has never felt natural to me. Unless I play like
things like RTS and strategy. Like Total War Arena, for example. Yeah, I couldn't play that with a controller.
Oh god, no, that'd be awful. But Total War is a great example because that is meant for keyboard and mouse. It's point and click, you click and drag in your troops and all that sort of thing. You try doing that on a console, it would just be a nightmare. There was actually a game that came out, Historical Battles or something, for the PS2.
Right.
Back a long time ago, and that was on obviously console. I don't know if you remember it.
Did you you played Age of Empires 2? I'm assuming at some point in your life. You've
never played Age of Empires.
Have you ever played any? None of them.
I know what it is. Yeah.
So because have you played StarCraft? Have you played any proper RTS?
No.
Okay. Right. Well, basically for the PS2, and I don't know why they did this, but they actually transferred a lot of RTS games to consoles. So the original StarCraft was on N64. I had a copy of Age of Empires 2 on PS2. Which you use a controller for, and it was the most god awful thing ever. Don't buy an RTS for a console. sucks. I don't think that RTS works well as a console game.
No.
However, I don't think because things like the Assassin's Creed, especially, or things like the Batman games, the Arkham games, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, all of these games I feel are built for controller.
Yeah, they are. They clearly are.
You can't the way in which you can move the character with the thumbstick. You can't replicate that on a WSD.
To an extent, though, games like Far Cry can be like that.
That's true.
They made mainly marketed for console, Xbox,
Although,
PlayStation, and then.
But to an extent, that because it's a first-person shooter and it's to do with mouse aim rather than moving an actual third-person character. I don't think it's quite the same.
When I play, because I occasionally do use controllers for PC games, depending on what it is. For example, The Witcher 3.
Yes.
I struggle with the keyboard and mouse, so I always revert to my controller.
Actually, ironically, I use the keyboard and mouse for that game.
Did you?
Yeah.
And you found that fine, did you?
Yeah, but I think it's because I hadn't played it on console beforehand. I don't think I would have been able to make that switch. Because I feel like I had to there. It's the same with Skyrim. I play it with keyboard and mouse because, with Skyrim I play that first person.
I play that with a controller as well.
Because I use the hotkeys a lot.
Yeah.
Because I find it much easier to change, like this in Witcher 3, change my spells and I whatever through using the mouse options.
So the other day I installed or reinstalled Star Wars Battlefront 2.
The original or the
new
EA?
EA, because
the original was EA, but
they've had a lot of great updates on it, and it's sort of Star Wars season with a new film coming out and everything. And plus Kahuli plays it religiously. I played the 2015 release with him on console, and he was like really good at first person shooters. Like he was the top of every.
Kahuli's because I played Black Ops 3 when that came out with him. He's really good. He's good.
I'm like Bambi, and like, oh, help me, you're my only hope, Obi-Wan. So I installed that, but then for some bizarre reason, the keyboard wasn't working. So I'm like, and I thought I'll have a couple of battles just to get me into the swing of it. So in the end, I used my controller, and the worst thing ever is when you're playing a first-person shooter game, and you're trying to shoot, or a third-person shooter game, and you end up just dragging. Yeah. So you're just shooting like that constantly. Yeah. But for some reason, it's because Origin overlay, in-game overlay, it negates you from using keyboard and mouse. You have to go into the menu beforehand, turn that off, and then it actually works. Okay. They used to have the same issue with Discord, but I think they've updated that since. So I had to go and do that, and now it works great. And now I'm playing on keyboard and mouse. It feels natural. But there are so many games out there where you have this weird kind of... You can play them on a controller, but it's not natural at all. Yeah, so a game... Before we go, because I do want to talk about Assassin's Creed Origins, because I think... I'm giving you a chance. You love Assassin's Creed, and I think... I got a lot to talk about Origins, and especially Odyssey. So I've not yet played Odyssey, but we'll get into that. A game that I was going to bring up regarding keyboard and mouse and controller, that I actually played both at the same time on PC and then PS4, was Apex Legends. Right. So I played Apex Legends on controller first, and I was doing really well on controller, and I think that's just because I used to play Black Ops 3 on controller and all the Call of Duty games before that. So I'm used to first person, I'm used to the similar lag, similar aim assist crap, and the controls and stuff. And I even though it's a first person shooter, I felt like I was doing much better in controller on the console than I was on PC. With a keyboard and mouse, eventually I did get better with keyboard and mouse. That's just mostly because I played more on my PC at the time. And I was doing really good with that. And then it's kind of a weird translation of the two. I'm not entirely sure what point I'm trying to make here. But okay, that's fine. I'm just going to let you talk, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's a real shame that we didn't really... Because I know you joined me in Tsunami for a very short stint. And then we kind of trailed off, mostly because you didn't do very good that time. Thanks. You had to bring that up. But I mean, we both, all of us. It just wasn't on. Because I played twice with you, and the first time, because you know that I'm a bit of a fan of battle royale games to an extent, mainly PUBG, but I will give other games a go. I haven't played Fortnite, just put that out there. I haven't played that at all. That had a Star Wars update recently as well. I saw someone. Okay. Yeah, that's. I don't Fortnite either. Yeah. The first time I played with you, I think I did alright. Yeah, no, the first time was good. For somebody brand new playing it, and I quite like the concept because it's three in a team rather than every man for himself, and it's got that kind of sci-fi feel to it. How you sort of jet down, and then it was great. So first time I played it was good, and the second time I played it with you and Tsunami, I don't think I got a single kill. I think I was just being dragged along.
Yeah.
But I found like my play style was always better when you took the aggro and I just get a sniper and just go and pick them off like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a close quarters person.
Yeah.
That game was just because after playing with you, I think I played maybe like 2 weeks more and then I stopped playing that.
So you haven't played that at all
I
since?
haven't played it.
And is that only on PC or is
No,
it on
it is on console.
It is on console.
I literally just said that earlier. How I played the game on console and PC.
Is it free on console?
Yeah, it's free to play on both.
Bloody hell.
It's not doing it that good anymore. It's lost its popularity massively.
Why do you think that's the case then?
Probably because I think it's just they I don't know, because the thing is, I just feel like it could be something to do with the fact that it didn't update big enough. They've got 3 maps now. They've got the newest map, because I watched a game, I didn't play it, but I watched a game on the newest map, and it's more of a vertical map rather than wide, so there's a lot of height.
Yeah.
As much as I like the idea of that, I don't know if first-person shooters are ready for vertical maps, because I feel like this. I mean, it could just be me. Like I could not understand what was going on, basically, just because not only did it was because when you got sniper, it's easy. You just look on the horizon to see anyone moving.
Yeah.
You have to look up, down, and it's the 3D space.
So, cause it's like at one
It's
stage,
odd.
Apex Legends was seen as like top 3 with the other
Yeah,
two,
because
wasn't
it came out and it did things so differently. Like,
which is what I liked about it.
yeah. But I don't know if it's because it didn't update fast enough. It just didn't keep up with the curve.
The reason why I brought up the Fortnite Star Wars thing, there was a point to it. Because I've been playing Battlefront 2, I was thinking, they could really hook people in now, this time of year especially, with the new film, The Mandalorian being on TV and everything. They could do a Battle Royale in Battlefront 2. Like Call of Duty did it before, where they had it in the game as a separate mode. And I was thinking, that'd be cool. You could create your character at the start. You've already got customization in Battlefront 2. They could perhaps jet down from a Star Destroyer, and then you've got to get weapons, and you can have a lightsaber or a gun, and they could try and balance it. And then when the timer comes in and you've got like gas or whatever, you could have like the red walls like in Phantom Menace with Darth Maul. In my head, I'm thinking, this is really good. This hasn't been thought of. And then, of course, I go onto YouTube. I think I'm going to put in Battle Royale Star Wars. I put it in literally day before yesterday, update, Fortnite Star Wars mode. I'm like, damn. So they're already doing it, so... But it's not. It's in Fortnite, not in anything else.
If anything is like everything has a Fortnite mode, has a Battle Royale mode now.
I feel like Fortnite has become like the next generation's Minecraft. Yeah.
Yeah, it's lost. It's definitely not as popular as it was. Like I feel like 2017, 2018, and then early 2019 was when it really hit off. Because like, was it 2018 was the World Cup?
Yeah, in Russia.
All the a lot of the interviews I was watching was interviewers asking players, "Do you play Fortnite?" and then going, "Yeah, that's what we do when to chill." And it's like, what?
Yeah,
it's crazy. But
yeah.
And then because you had Ninja play with is it Drake?
Somebody like that.
Something like
because Ninja was on the True Geordie podcast the other week, and I think he's left Twitch. He's gone to Mixer because
he got paid off quite heavily.
Yeah.
Do you know that's also super interesting? Because now we've got 3 big streaming platforms. We've got Twitch, got Mixer, and to an extent YouTube Gaming. Which when you look at it, that's Amazon, Microsoft, and Google.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
They're the big wigs behind the scenes pulling all the strings, but they just got a different name. But they are effectively...
It is literally just digital wars from there as well. And then you've got... it's absolutely mind-blowing that... how it works.
Out of the 3, what do you think is the best platform for a streamer? Being somebody who's been a content creator for a number of years, just to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I've never used or watched anything on Mixer, so I don't really have much. I mean, I watch stuff on Twitch, but then I also watch VODs on YouTube because I don't have time to watch things live.
So like, I've got a Mixer account, but I've never actually streamed on there because I don't know how to stream on it. And then Twitch, I feel like
Twitch is so much easier.
Yeah.
And, like both Twitch and YouTube, because we both use OBS, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's so much easier to set up because there's literally drop downs for like Twitch key or YouTube streaming key. You put that in, you're done. You're in.
Yeah, it's
seems really
much more
easy.
simplified, I think, than other
Definitely.
platforms.
But I feel like that's also because I've not looked into Mixer at all. But I don't know I don't know anything about Mixer in terms of numbers or anything.
From what I know, it's a much smaller platform, but you've got a better chance of growing quicker because there's less competition. But then with Ninja going over there, I think they're hoping they're signing a big name like that would bring a lot more new eyes to their platform.
Not just
They signed a
Ninja,
few,
they signed
haven't they?
quite a
It's
few,
like 3 or
haven't
4 really big name streamers. But of course, if you're a streamer, how can I word this? It's like being a YouTuber. The money you bring in on a monthly or weekly basis or daily basis or whatever, it's not guaranteed.
No, it's not.
So you gotta look after yourself. And if you've got somebody offering you a contract, hey, if you come and stream with us, but exclusively with us, we're gonna offer you this, this, and this. That's your safety for the next few years, perhaps. So I don't blame anyone doing it.
Have they come out to say how much they got paid? I'm assuming they haven't.
I don't think it's been disclosed, but I think it's been speculated that it's
Several.
it's quite a big sum of
I would
money.
assume so. I mean, it's Microsoft, so what do you expect?
It's quite a large sum.
They're probably just like, oh yes, I'll have like 0.00000% of our revenue.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so much money. It's like, yes.
My cat's down there as well. I should probably mention that we do have 2 cats, so if you do occasionally hear the odd meow or...
That made it sound like you two were a couple.
Me and Richard just got cats.
Because we've got a cat, we live together, we've got cats, yeah. I can see the comments coming in now for this podcast already. So yeah, it's just the cats playing. So back to video games.
Yeah, let's talk about Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, go on, right.
So-
Lay you have the floor, you have the mic.
Thanks.
And
the
the
camera.
water. You can rabbit
Sure.
on about this. Go on.
So, I have been playing Assassin's Creed for ages. I think I first got introduced by my friend Josh, who I spoke about earlier, who I went to recently rekindled with.
Yeah.
He got me in through Brotherhood, which is a fantastic Assassin's Creed game.
One of the best.
Um,
She agrees.
and then from there I played like a bit of Revelations at friend's house. Like I've never really owned a game up until I got my first gaming laptop, where I bought the original trilogy, so Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood.
Right.
And then I played through all of these. Assassin's Creed, the first one, was great, but
I think it hasn't aged very well.
When you look back on it, it's like, this game was good, but then when you think about it in the setting that it was, like, oh, this is why this game kicked off this whole series, because, oh my god, it did things amazingly well. And then Assassin's Creed 2, though, not only was, like, the gameplay there, but the story was fantastic. Absolutely incredible.
I think it was helped by the fact it introduced such an iconic character in Ezio Auditore, and they kept him for 3 games. So you literally take over control of him when he's born, where you have to like press the square button to do a punch, and then but it's not really a punch, just a like that, and then kick, and then you go next time you see him. Then he's like 17, and the story starts from there.
And he has a fight with
he has
it's really
he
cool.
has the fight, but it's that music when you've got him and
his brother.
Is it Federico? Yeah, and
It's a good life we lead, brother.
the best. And
May
may
it never change.
it never change. Yes, yeah. They've got the iconic quote. The music
And
hits.
then
The logo comes on
logo,
the screen.
yeah.
Like, oh, this is Assassin's Creed. It's so
Yeah. And then I played Assassin's Creed 3 with my ex from ages ago when that came out. That was a bit of a letdown, if I'm not going to lie.
Well, the X or the game. Sorry, you said that perfectly.
That's great.
You also scared it.
And then we had, and then I think I got Black Flag very recently-ish, like maybe 2-3 years ago.
Shit!
Yeah, I didn't like Black Flag at all.
So yeah, I didn't mind.
It's not that it's 2 parties. Well, yes, to an extent. The reason why it doesn't work is because it's too open world. There's too much freedom.
Too many icons to collect.
Yeah, and it's just like, as much as I like ship combat,
Yeah.
I don't really
It's
like ship combat. That's not why I play Assassin's
the
Creed.
devs said it's like the biggest map we've ever done. It's like, yeah, but most of that map is ocean.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. You have to like sail.
Then I played Syndicate when I got that. That was one of the first games I bought for my PS4, and I absolutely loved Syndicate. I skipped Unity completely. Got Syndicate.
The Frenchman who skipped the French game. Yeah.
Yeah. But I got Syndicate, and I really, really enjoyed Syndicate. The story was great. The characters were great. The fact that you could choose between Evie or whatever his name is.
Can I just
Jacob.
tell you
Jacob.
something?
Yeah.
Her name is Luna Evie. And his name is Solus Jacob.
Yeah, we gave our cats middle names, and they both named after Assassin's Creed characters.
My head. Anyway,
Moving on.
moving swiftly on. Yeah, got Syndicate. That game was really nice. There was one level that bugged me, and I think it bugged you as well when you.
It's
were
the one I
playing it.
uploaded on the channel
Yeah.
where it just kept bugging out constantly. I'm like,
You stand on it.
stand on it. I've uninstalled it, but by that point, I'm like, yep, I'm done.
Fair enough.
I did enjoy the DLC, the Jack the Ripper DLC.
The game. I haven't actually played the.
It's really good.
But I've but played through the whole game. I think I basically by the end of it was only missing one achievement, which was just a freaking annoying achievement I can be bothered to go get. It was like knock down 5,000 lampposts, and I'm like, I can't be bothered to do that. Whatever. Anyway,
by that point,
my only
by that point,
gripe
not
with
really
the game-
gaming.
No,
You're
exactly.
working in it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not doing this for that. But then I hadn't played an Assassin's Creed game in a while. Origins came out, completely skipped over that. Odyssey came out, and I was like, maybe I should go back into this. And then I recently decided, rather than getting on, because I got Origins for like super cheap, some deal.
I
sale,
think
whatever.
I had it half price as well, Origins. But about a year after it came out. So.
Yeah, and then I got Odyssey, but I'm like, before I go into Odyssey, I'm going to go with Origins, because Origins is super well reviewed as well.
Yeah.
Odyssey is massively reviewed, but I think I'm going to go and step it up that way. That way I get what Odyssey must have built on from Origins, so I'll play that. One of the things that I absolutely loved about Origins, just from the get-go, is that it doesn't explain anything when you start. You're just thrown into this character doing this, and you're like, oh, okay, what the hell's going on? Like, literally, you just start fighting off this huge, humongous dude with, like, a thing. You end up in a tomb, you go through the tomb, got all these Egyptian stuff, and you're just like, whoa. And then it literally doesn't explain anything for, like, the first few minutes, and then eventually kind of build up the character of Bayek, you build up the characters around him, you build up what you're going through, who the Order are, and whatever. And I thought it was fantastic. I absolutely adored that story, up until they introduced Cleopatra.
Okay, so
I absolutely hate that. Well, maybe not right as you introduce Cleopatra, but basically partway through, I just didn't like the story.
is it to do with the fact that
Spoilers, by the way. If
it's
you've
not-
not played Origins, I will be going to.
or
the
if you've
end.
not read a history book?
Yeah, all that.
So is it her portrayal?
No,
You didn't
no,
like-
no, no. She can
Or is
be-
it because you had
she
the
can be
whole Roman
promiscuous as you want?
and
No, yeah. So this is
Juliet-
it's the fact that you like Bayek and Aya's relationship is fantastically portrayed throughout the thing, and then all of a sudden Aya's like, oh no, fuck this. That bugged me. Cleopatra's like, oh yeah, do this and this and that, and it's like, oh actually no, the Romans are the Order and they control us. And it's like, okay, so Egypt has no independence whatsoever. Fini. And it's like, this whole game was leading up to be Egypt for the Egyptians, or, you know, whatever. Like, Greco-Egyptians, sure, we can live together harmoniously. And then it's just like, oh yeah, Romans come in, fuck off.
What did you think of the way they portrayed the assassin order?
So that was... It gripes me. It really... Like, firstly, an eagle head falls to the sand.
Yeah.
This is the symbol.
They think, oh, it's in the sand. Oh, okay.
And it's like, did they think that on the inception of the game? Like, when they made the first Assassin's Creed with Altair, did they make that? It's like, oh yeah, if you put an eagle skull in the thing, that's the symbol they make.
Or someone just think in the office afterwards, hey, you know what would be a good idea?
'Cause
If
I
a
mean-
shell went onto the ground, we picked it up, and it
It
just...
wasn't a shell though; it was an eagle skull.
It was an eagle skull, though.
Yeah,
But it's the beak, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
because the
makes
beak makes the big thing, but then you've got like the jawline,
Yeah.
which makes because when you think about it, the eagle dive has been a staple hold of that thing.
Yeah.
So it's like
poetry.
it kind of makes sense. Like, if they did think of it from inception, then, oh, great, this is the origin of this symbol. It makes sense. But I just feel the way in which they explained it was, like, the way in which it was shown, with the eagle being dropped to the floor, Aya picking it up and seeing this symbol, and then making it the symbol, it just annoyed me. No, the thing that annoyed me was the fact that Caesar becomes the enemy. You get Cassius Brutus and whatever his name is, who are just like... Let's go murder him. I was like, let's go murder him. I'm going to Rome and murder him. Bayek, we're no longer... You know, I know we had a kid together, but fuck our relationship.
Yeah, there's our guest star.
You're right.
There's our guest star right here.
That's what she normally does with us.
Yeah, she's going to catch up here, I
So
think.
she's going to fall asleep now, so you'll be fine.
That's the thumbnail, by the way.
But yeah, and then you had Bayek and I, like, relationship just ends.
Yeah.
Inexplicable, even though they had a really good, mature, like, proper relationship for a video game of, like, so like, a couple that have lost their kid who's been murdered by, like, people. It just frustrates me the way it ended. You're right. And then the assassination of Caesar was just like I literally
Don't talk about his name here.
went around the garden, and then because you kill Septimius.
Yeah.
That's a really fun battle, to be fair, though. Really fun. All of the battles, to be fair, is really fun in that game. You go to Caesar, he's just talking, you walk up, you stab him. Zilch. Nothing. It just felt like a cop-out and really shit way to end the game.
Do you think that the Assassin's Creed games rely too much on history, though?
It's not so much that they rely... So, I'll
like
come back to it. I feel like they try too hard to be part of history. They try to... Because obviously the assassination of Julius Caesar is something fundamentally important to European history. They didn't need it to make the game good.
No.
They could have ended it somewhere else. When the first time you go with Aya on the ship and you like meet Pompey, that's a really cool moment. That's like, oh god, is Pompey great? Of course. And this is when I realised, oh yeah, of course, the Civil War's going on right now. And then like Pompey gets his head chopped off screen, and Caesar's like, I win. And then you like, okay, let's go kill Septimius. And Septimius is like, fuck off, I'm actually a good guy, or bad, whatever. Oh, it annoyed me. But anyway, completed the game. Completed the main story. I have this thing with Assassin's Creed, I think everyone who plays Assassin's Creed, where you have to go literally everywhere and get every single unlockable. After maybe 3/4 of the map, I was like, this is very repetitive, but that's also my bad. Because
that's what my problem is with Assassin's Creed, like, especially with the older ones, like Brotherhood, Revelations. I used to just try and get 100% on everything. Even like get full sync on the mission, so it's like...
So this is the thing, also. Full sync on the missions. Why haven't they kept that?
I don't know. Maybe it's because people found it a bit too tedious to try and do it more. Maybe they just thought, people just want to be more casual with it and stuff.
I feel like they need to have an additional challenge mode then where you can still have those. Because I felt like I was doing the missions, and it was just like... Because usually, even when you're just doing like a camp or like a fort... You've always got like don't be seen or do 7 aerial kills or whatever, and it adds the difference. Otherwise, I'm just doing the same fort again and again and again.
So they've got something similar in Odyssey. It's not full synchronization, but if you are able to do like kill 100 animals or something like that, they have with a bow, then you can get like an upgrade on your bow to do like extra damage, or you get like a rare piece of armor because they've done more now with the sets of equipment you can get. So you can get like rare, legendary, or you get the common ones and stuff like that, and each thing will give you like a boost.
Anyway,
it's like you've talked for half an hour. That's long enough. Thank you.
Oh god, no. But with Origins, because with Origins, the original game isn't very like it's ground other than the Apple of Eden, which they have. I'm assuming that's what it is because they don't say. It's just the artifact. That other than that, it's very ground and historic, which is nice. I actually really enjoyed that. There's not that much sci-fi stuff. Then have you played both the DLCs for it?
No. Okay.
So the first DLC is called The Hidden Ones, and that's
I've watched some of it on YouTube.
Sure, so you go through to this to Sinai, which is just another area.
Yeah.
It's tiny. That was an additional 5 hours of content, and I was like, this DLC shit. Really, really crap. It's not awful, but it could be so much better for what it is. There is 2 moments in the DLC where I was like, oh, this is actually great because it ties up some loose ends from the story in the main game. So I'm like, okay, yeah. And I'm currently playing through the Curse of the Pharaohs. Yeah.
And that's really good.
That's amazing. Yeah. Like there is so much content in that. Like I was not.
Is that like a 20-hour sort of DLC?
I don't know yet because I've not only just started, but like I started through. You start in Thebes and then you go around, and then I got through to the Valley of Kings, where you then go into the afterlife places, and I'm like, oh, these are great. And one of the things that I absolutely love, and you can tell that the team at Ubisoft who made this game absolutely adore history, because a lot of it. So I really like ancient history. So Origins is one of like a lot of the things that are being told around in the background I know of, because I've studied it and I looked into it and I'm interested by it. So being able to see the Pharos of Alexandria is amazing. Being able to see the library, being able to see then Ramesses II, and then all of these things, and especially when you go into the afterlife to see it's just so nice just to be able to like see all these things the way in which the Egyptian believed that they were from the records. It's like the afterlife for these people. Amun-Ra. But it's also it just makes me really great and really happy. I just feel great.
So I'm gonna have to ask you this question. I did a video on it this year actually. Top 5 future Assassin's Creed games or locations.
Okay, here we go.
So I wanted to save it for this podcast because I know you're a big fan of Assassin's Creed. Where would you like them to go in the future? Where would you like them to take this franchise? What direction do you want to see it go in? And can you see them concluding it in some satisfactory way that will?
So this is one of the gripes that I had with Origins, is when I had to get out of the Animus.
Yeah.
Because I don't
Layla Hassan.
At this point, it's not that I don't like the characters. It's just I don't care about what's going on in the big wide world of Assassin's Creed.
Is that since Desmond though? Do you think? Did you like the Desmond stuff before? A lot of people loved it.
The thing is,
Was it?
Assassin's Creed 2, because that's really when the story kind of properly happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't too much. It wasn't so cryptic that you couldn't get behind it. I feel like every time I went to one of those like tombs and unlocked like things from the messenger or whatever, did not understand what the fuck was going on. Mostly because A, it's too wordy, and B, it makes no sense. There's no grounding for me. I don't know what that's going on at all. I've also not been following through Black Flag. I've not been following through like Unity or Freedom Cry or whatever the fuck the game was.
The modern day in the games, after Desmond died, Black Flag was... the whole thing was, it's a video game, haha. Ubisoft, Abstergo, and now got Abstergo Entertainment, and they're going to make a game, and you're the guy that's going to help us make the game.
That's what Syndicate was as well.
And Syndicate was to an extent was the same sort of thing. And then they introduced Layla Hassan then, because a lot of people had a backlash saying, oh, we hate the first person point of view, we want to actually have a character and follow their story. So then Ubisoft go, yeah, you got Layla Hassan, so they brought in her. But I find her character just a bit too, boring. There's not much to it.
Yeah, I mean, the first time you go out, she's got this relationship with the tech person who disappears in Origins, and it's like, okay. And then she meets the assassin who's just like, we've been watching you, haha. It's like,
because William Miles makes a cameo, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In that game. Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I just feel like they need to slow it down. They need to make it so that it's not too much for someone to handle. They can follow it. Maybe what they could do is have one of the Assassin's Creed games happening in that world rather than in a historical setting.
I think one of the things that's missing...
Cool.
Yeah, because then you could see the modern realism of what's going on and actually understand what's going on in the world outside of the Animus.
I think one of the reasons why the modern day doesn't do particularly well is that she's too successful as a character. In a narrative, and I'll use Star Wars as an example, because I think that's the easiest thing I can think of. Luke Skywalker is introduced.
Yeah.
Farm boy.
Mm-hmm.
His family gets killed. Doesn't know who his father is or anything.
Underdog.
The underdog. Wants to go out and save the world. Next film, Empire Strikes Back, he learns the tragedy that his father's actually the Dark Lord, Darth Vader. And he gets his arm chopped off. Yeah, the Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord. And the third film, then he's able to save his father and save the rebel and win the day. Yeah. So he goes through that whole arc, doesn't he? With Desmond, he has an arc in the Assassin's Creed games. He's introduced in
the first game as just a test subject.
But he's a prisoner and doesn't want to be there. Then he gets broken out by what's the name?
Yeah.
Blonde hair.
Person who dies. Yeah.
I was going to get to that. He goes through his trial and tribulation where he basically kills her, and we're like, oh my god, what's he killed her for? And then we learn in the next game that she was a Templar, blah blah blah, and he's actually in like some kind of weird afterlife kind of Abstergo Animus thing where he's got Subject 16 with him, Clay Kazmarek, and you learn like how he went mad through it. And then the final act of it then is Assassin's Creed 3 modern day, where he literally saves everyone by sacrificing himself. And so he goes through that entire character arc.
The whole 2012.
Yeah. Layla Hassan has none of that. In what you've told me about this game, what I've seen and what I know of her in Odyssey, she's very good at everything. She's got the whole kind of Rey complex of the new Star Wars going on, where it's just like, just write your character as well. Yeah, so that's my main gripe with the modern day.
Yeah. That's fair.
Rant over.
But no, I completely agree with that. But to go back on the question of where to go with the future,
where's it going to go?
I do think that they should do a game set in the present day. Present day with Abstergo being super conglomerate, whatever, with whatever's going on, just to understand the story. Because the thing is, we spend so much time in the Animus that we don't know what's going on in the real world, and that's a big issue. Basically, is that we don't know what's going on. I would like to see, because they did They did a
What?
They did 3 games. They did Assassin's Creed China, Russia, and some other thing. But
Yeah,
I've not
the
played
2D
any.
platform
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
They should. I feel like they should do one set in China, just because the Terracotta Army is like basically a good place to soldier and understand. Like, oh, we're using one of the apples to make things. I think
a lot of people are saying Japan, aren't they, and samurai and all that sort of thing.
no, fuck that. The Aztecs would be a really good place to go.
So I mentioned in my video something similar. I said about
The Aztecs or Mayans.
So I talked about like sort of Christopher Columbus, the New World, New Spain, and that sort of era.
And have like Cortez.
And have Cortez and have that. Because I remember it quite fondly from Medieval 2 Total War Kingdoms when you have that campaign. Yeah. And I thought that's good because you've got such a clash of cultures. Yeah. They could make a really good thing of it. But then they've kind of done that sort of with Assassin's Creed 3 because you've had Native Americans.
Yeah, but that was done... The thing with that is that it was... I don't know, they did it badly.
Yeah.
I feel like because with the Incas or with the Aztecs or the Mayans, there's such a variety in South America of peoples. You could have like literally a native Aztec assassin or someone who comes along and does all that, and the Templars are obviously led by Cortez because the invaders are always the nasty Templars. They could also, because the thing is, we've not had a link from Origins or Odyssey with Assassin's Creed, the first original one. We could have something in between, with like prior to the Crusades. Yeah. What's going on? Constantinople, that kind of stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of places where they could go. Like we could literally have Republican Rome or Empire Rome.
So I thought like. Because I felt like with Bayek, he's one of the few characters they've done in recent times where he's got such a good gripping story. It'd be nice to go back and explore it. I thought it'd be good if they did a little bit like they did with Ezio when he had 3 games. Do another game. They could set in not in Egypt, but perhaps somewhere else in the Roman Empire, because it's going to be Roman Empire era now, and have him perhaps having to work with the Romans or against them in some sort of way. Maybe he goes to Teutoburg Forest because that is in the reign of Augustus. So
you could also, it maybe I was going to say you could be Bayek's son. Awkward, but if you could tell, because there's so many times like one of the in the first I love that scene. In the first like rule of the emperors, you ended it on the reign of 4 emperors. Yeah, we had 4 emperors that died very quickly because they couldn't choose who was going to be emperor after the original Caesars. So you could just have something to do with that. Like the thing is, the Roman Empire, something that isn't widely known, because this is. If we go and look at Total War 3 Kingdoms, that was done so successful because not many people know that history. Yeah. Doing that
same with Shogun too, because Asian history,
it's not really done. But this is like ancient European history, which no one really knows about.
Yeah, because when you think of Rome, people think straight away, the Roman Empire itself. They think of the Augustus, Caesar, Pompey. Might think of Crassus, Spartacus. Yeah, they think of all of that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. But you don't think you could have Rome v Carthage. Total Assassin's Creed.
Punic Wars. You play as Hannibal Barca.
No. No, you play as... You could have elephants as mounts in that game.
That would be quite cool, actually. Now, I can just see the trailer now, and that's like the big catching point of the trailer. Oh, look, you get to mount elephants. Yeah. I think Assassin's Creed is more of an RPG now.
Yeah, but I don't actually dislike that.
I don't mind it. They have to change the combat because the combat was too repetitive and too ridiculous.
Yeah, and too easy.
They just kept the same.
It was literally press triangle to kill.
Even with the free run, they tried changing and tweaking it, but to the point now in Odyssey, you don't actually free run anymore. You just literally run towards any object and you just climb it. Now it's like, okay.
That was that was the same in Origins. I don't know whether or not I don't dislike it because. It used to be really finicky and like.
The amount of times you got someone chasing you and you just run up the wall, and then just jump back down and just start just because you mistimed and you got the wrong pixel.
There are still times though in Origins where I jump like towards the haystack and don't hit the haystack. I like jump slightly off. You're like, what are you doing? There's a haystack. But yeah, it's. I am very much looking forward to trying out Odyssey, but as I said to you earlier off camera, when I finish Origins, when I finish Curse of the Pharaohs, I don't think I'm going to go for the 100% achievements just because
it's almost impossible now as well to do it.
I think I'm going to go and play some Total War Warhammer 2 for like a campaign, probably with one of the new DLC factions, and then go to Odyssey after that.
Yeah. And the good thing as well is you pick up Odyssey, you'll get it at a fraction of what it was cost.
Yeah, I've already got it.
Oh.
I got it for there's like 60% off or 75%
there
off.
we go.
Something like that. It was crazy, and they got the DLC recently during the sale as well.
Can't fault it.
No, you can't. And it's just I've gone to a point now where my Steam library is so packed that I need to play the games. So I'm just like, okay.
Well, I'm the same because I got so many games that I've yet to play. Like I told you off camera that I picked up Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I'm enjoying at the moment, and I had that for a fraction of the price. And the reason why is I traded in like 5 games through game to get reward points so I can get money off. And like 4 of those games I've barely played or haven't played. I'm not gonna ever play them. So like, I'll just give them back. I bought them from Game a few years ago as well in like a sale then. So it's like, oh well.
I buy all my games from CX now.
Do you?
Yeah. Because they're always, and every time I go into town, I always go to CX to see it.
So
I really want Spyro and the new Spyro remastered.
Yeah.
And I really want to get the Spider-Man game, but I only get my games my console games I only get through CX. I don't get my PC games. PC games I get through sales
stuff, Steam or whatever. Yeah.
People buying them for me, which apparently happens.
Quite a lot in the world of YouTube.
Awkward. Have you played Far Cry 5 yet?
No. Back to games I haven't. So you gifted me that last Christmas?
Yeah.
I think it was a year ago, wasn't it? Maybe even longer. And I've yet to play it. It is installed, I just have not played it yet. But then I have what's that game? It's got animals and stuff in it.
Planet Zoo?
No.
It's got animals.
Tsunami gifted it to us when he first visited Wales last summer. I streamed it once, and I haven't played it since. Monster Hunter World.
Oh. It's got animals.
It's got animals in it. Monster Hunter World, yeah, dragons and whatever. Those kind of animals. I say animals because like one of the characters has got like a cat face or something. I mean, it's kind of disconcerting. Anyway, yeah.
Not the kind of game that I'm into, so...
No. I found it hard to get into it, but I'm like our games. I'm a bit picky with what I like.
Okay, I completely agree.
Yeah, I think we all. It's like music. We all like certain types of music.
I mean, we all like because
like you like Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like Avril Lavigne, but then next door probably doesn't like Avril Lavigne.
No.
Because we're all different. We all have our.
Thanks for that. telling the internet that we like Avril Lavigne. Okay, interesting. No, but like sure. Like I like World of Tanks, for example.
Yeah,
World of Tanks,
exactly.
But you're not really into that kind of game. You tried it.
I tried it,
but it's not really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like That was a weird tangent. Thanks, Richard.
Well, this is the Dragon's Lair podcast where we do go on many tangents.
God. All right. So, anyway, moving swiftly on. Is there any games that are you looking forward to? Cyberpunk or whatever the heck it's called. What's it called?
Cyberpunk 20.
Is it actually called Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
Oh.
2077.
2077. Yeah.
With CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was initially because I think I was still playing a lot of The Witcher 3 at the time, and I was like fanboying a little bit. I was like, oh, this looks really good. Oh my god. And then I kind of got a bit bored and lost a bit of interest in it. So I think what I probably will do is...
Let me tell you the one thing that's going to get you back into the game.
What?
They have mocap sex scenes.
What? How can I pre-order yet?
I'm more concerned by the fact that they had mocap. All the sex scenes.
Mocap sex
Mocap.
scenes. Mocap sex scenes.
So, okay...
So you're thinking right now is where do you put the little knob?
Yeah.
I knew it.
So they're lying down and
I don't know. This is something I
don't give me this information if you don't know. What?
I'm assuming like that they are still in their full
body
suits and they're just like rubbing against each other.
Oh, that's even worse. They start a fire.
Hey, and the thing is, there's no. But didn't they say like part of the game? They said that there's no genders. Like you can choose.
Yeah,
you've got to
I think they did.
So you're gonna have to have either gonna have to have different sex scenes mocap with different potential genders.
I just think in penguins at the moment.
How many sex positions did they mocap? That's my everything.
They probably got the Kama Sutra. So there's somebody high up in the office, the CD Projekt Red. They've just got like the Kama Sutra, and it's like, I know what's gonna just really wind people up. But yeah, I got 2 actors above it. Right, come over. We got some stuff we need to do.
That's probably paid pretty well. I mean, it's just.
I imagine so. I hope so.
To be fair, no, but so yeah, first ever game with mocap sex scenes.
That's progressive though. Yeah,
progressive. CG Projekt Red always good when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
with Witcher 3 as well, and with all the Witcher games, they were not. It was always very tasteful as well. It wasn't like ever ridiculous.
It wasn't sex for the sake of sex.
No, and I feel like that's probably what it's going to be.
Which is what Game of Thrones did in the end, at least last 2 seasons.
But, but so a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Cyberpunk 2077. CG Projekt Red, they did amazing with The Witcher. Oh, it's going to be so good. Witcher, like Cyber. It's like the gameplay is first person. Firstly, that we've seen.
Yeah.
Just because it's made by the people who made Witcher doesn't mean it's going to be Witcher, which is the second thing. I am cautiously optimistic is the word. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be. I'm not going to get it until I've seen
which is what I'm probably going to do. Cause,
but I feel like the story's probably going to be really good. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that we can do. The teaser trailer little thing that they showed off at E3 was very interesting, and you're interested in this. Well, I'm interested in it. I don't know about you. We're interested.
I'm interested now with sex scenes in it.
Mocaps. There's I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so the character that we're introduced with is pretty interesting, and like the weird like morphs that they've got for their like android stuff. Yeah. That seems really an enhancement. They seem like
the thing is, it's sci-fi,
but it's
CD Projekt Red. They had good gameplay with The Witcher, fantastic story.
They've got Keanu Reeves.
Got Keanu Reeves. They got mocap sex scenes. If they can recreate the sort of success they had with The Witcher, then I think it's going to be one of the games of the year.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, you got to be sort of cautiously optimistic because this is completely different to what The Witcher was. So,
and if it's a shoot, this is the thing. Whenever you go into futuristic stuff, the thing about fantasy that I like is that there's barely any guns.
Yeah.
Because guns make games easy or stupid, and I feel like only a few games actually make guns like decent and make them work in a fun gameplay way that's not just aim and shoot, but more of like, oh, is this position going to help me or whatever? And I hope that they can do that really well, but we'll see. I'm interested, but cautiously.
Hopefully it'll be good.
If not, then at least I can YouTube the mocap sex scenes.
Well, yeah, it'll be someone else going to upload it if YouTube still exists in when this game's released. Because
I don't think it won't exist.
The way
YouTube is the most I think it's the second most trafficked website on the internet.
Yeah, Google's the first. Yeah, I know. And Google owns them both, so they're happy either way. I think YouTube's going to pot. We may as well start the topic of YouTube. Yeah. It is at the bottom of our list, but we may as well, as we're on the subject, sort of. You've been a YouTuber for many years, same as me. Mm-hmm. You also haven't really been consistent for many years, same as me.
Yeah.
What are your kind of views on the direction the platform is sort of heading in at the moment?
So, I read an article this morning that was talking about PewDiePie and the fact that when he does a bro fist, that is now effectively harassment.
I saw something about that. Yeah.
What?
So that is the state. It's not so much the state of YouTube; it's the state of the internet at the moment. I feel like the media is attempting to make everything a problem, and people are just gobbling it up without thinking. And YouTube, because they are an they make it from ads and selling like ad slots. Just like any other cable media. Because of course,
when you first started YouTube and me, the adverts didn't really play a part. No. You uploaded because you wanted to become successful, but you also wanted to make good content that you enjoyed starting here, and then hopefully other people as well. To do that now, you've got to jump through so many hoops. Yeah. One of the channels I watch is a guy called ESO, which Elder Scrolls Online stands for. He's a big Skyrim YouTuber. Bethesda games, he plays all of them. Fallout, stuff like that. He does guides. He does big Let's Play walkthrough stuff, and he's got 1.5 million subscribers. So it's his business. It's his living and everything. And he's uploaded, I think, 4 videos in the last sort of 3 months where he's talked about frustrations of loss of income and stuff because they've got these guidelines now about violence and they grade in 3 different categories, like category A, B, and C, something to that effect. And it's like moderate video game violence is fine, you can still make money off it. Then the next step then where it's sort of real violence and stuff, and then the final one is like proper decapitation, people hanging in forests, stuff like that. So he basically he's aiming to get on that first bracket of it, first tier of it, because his video will be fine. And he did like an Excel spreadsheet of the video that was demonetized and whatever, and then it wasn't demonetized, and then he had the limited ads. And he said that kills the video completely because he would get like 50,000 views in the first day, and then it climbed to make quite a bit of money on this particular video. He had, for a 10-minute video, 20 seconds of violence on a Skyrim thing, right? So he edited it in such a way where he could still do the tutorial and whatever. For that 20 seconds, the blood effects were turned off. It was just sword, ooh, you're dead. It was literally that, right? And they manually reviewed the video and said on it, we deem this to be violent, blah, blah, blah. And he actually showed it all as well. Yeah. And it's like the amount of hoops someone like him has got to jump through. And he's a really successful YouTuber. So channels like us,
we've got no chance.
We've got no chance at all.
This is why when I upload, very rarely.
When
I upload, very rarely, I don't care about that stuff anymore. But it was never really the thing that I was striving for. Maybe there was a point where I was like, maybe I could, but
I think we all feel like that to an extent. I went through my stage, I think, where I was like, right, try and make it look more professional. Yeah. Try and edit it in such a way. Try and upload it as consistent as you can. And I was sort of brainwashed for a period of time, certainly, where I tried my best to do that. Whereas now, it's like, I can upload any video, even this podcast, for example, and I'd be lucky to get 50 views on it.
Yeah, and this is something, so I watch a Philip DeFranco.
I know he is, yeah.
And he does a podcast as well, and he speaks to a lot of other big YouTubers and stuff, obviously. And they talk about the state of YouTube quite a bit when he speaks to the older ones. And one of the comments that he made in one of the recent ones with Anthony Padilla, who's the second half of Smosh.
Yeah, or formerly Smosh.
Formerly Smosh.
Yeah.
They were talking about how back in the day, and I actually very much agree with this, back in the day when you uploaded, views would like sort of steadily grow over time, whereas now it's kind of like you have one day to get views and then you don't.
Yeah.
And it feels like how much of that is due to YouTube's changing policies and changes algorithms.
Probably is a lot to do with it.
And how much of that is just there's so much fucking content on YouTube these days that you don't have time to watch a video that's X amount of days old. It's like, if I
isn't it something like 100,000 videos uploaded every like minute or something ridiculous? It's something ridiculous.
Like 100,000.
Around the world.
Like 100,000
hours
course, uploaded every
other
minute.
things as well that play a factor into this is over the last few years, YouTube's been opened up to more countries as well.
Yeah,
so
that's
more
true.
people are getting access.
Very much.
Like India, I think they're the biggest channel with T-Series.
T-Series got 100 and
because it's like a Bollywood channel.
Yeah.
And because India now have access to YouTube, it's just...
Yeah. But I mean... it's just, that's not a bad thing. Being able to
have access.
The issue is that because it's so this is another thing that I want to talk about is whatever. I'll come back to it. YouTube is a company that is based in US.
Yeah.
But has access all around the world, which means that every single one of those countries have different viewpoints on what should be content,
different laws,
different stuff. Obviously, Europe has their own thing with their article.
Because that's 14. Another point I want to bring up as well. It might be the same point you're going to bring up about the thing they're bringing in January. Sort of.
Maybe. What they bring in January?
This is a new law that's coming in January where if you're...
YouTube, is this the European
thing?
Yeah,
YouTube had to change their policy, the wording of their policy. And
no, what I was going to...
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, what I was going to bring up is... So Twitter...
Yeah.
The CEO of Twitter said, we are no longer accepting political ads on our platform. And people were outraged because it was like blocking free speech and stuff like that. And it's like, this is the CEO of a private company who is private social media. Like, he is allowing you to use his thing for free. He should have the right. Like, if I'm going into a McDonald's with a placard saying, fuck the Tories.
Yeah.
They can ask me to leave.
Yeah.
And everyone will be like, oh, that's fine. They're not going to be like, it's free speech. No. I can't do that. I'm in a private establishment.
Yeah.
Twitter, YouTube, and all that should be the same. They should be allowed to make their own decisions based on what is and what isn't allowed on that platform. The issue with YouTube is obviously they can't do that because ads play such an important part on their revenue compared to, say, Twitter, where it's not ads, it's personal preferences, which they set off, data that they set off. YouTube doesn't get that sort of data other than to recommend you more videos to stay on the platform to see more ads. So it's not quite the same thing. But I feel like if YouTube, instead of playing up to the big boys, were playing up to the people, in the short term that would be like awful, but in the long term I think that'd be much better, because then they could choose what is and what isn't on the platform with a proper set of rules, rather than, as you were saying, manually reviewing, when your manual reviewer is a guy who's like 90 from Portugal.
But this is the thing, because the manual reviewer, they're all going to have different opinions.
Yeah, exactly, because there's no guideline. It's like the guideline's too vague for a manual reviewer to read and be like,
it's
okay,
like
that's
VAR in football at the moment, where like this is an offside. They had it yesterday in the Liverpool game. This goal's an offside, and then they zoomed in, and it's like this tiniest smidge of a boot is just past the player's back leg or hand or something, and then it's like, yeah, but then you can't score with your hand, but then they still disallow this. So it's like different interpretations of the rules.
Yeah, it's really, it's annoying, it's dumb. I'm really, the thing is, I use a lot of, because there's so much content on YouTube, and this plays into YouTube Rewind, which I want to know about your opinion on as well.
I have seen it, yeah.
There's so much content on YouTube that you can't. What they should do is have a different set of rules for each different type of content. You should have different rules for beauty channels, different rules for gaming channels,
music especially.
For music,
yeah.
Because you can't have some, like, they need to be vague because they've got so much different stuff. It's like you can't have violence. Video games have violence which has already been checked by a video game body which has rated the game 18, 15, 12,
exactly.
Whatever. Violence in real life, you're punching someone in the face in real life.
Yeah.
It's not the same as if you're watching a boxing match where you punch someone in the face in real life, but it's boxing, like, I'm assuming it's PG, it's a sport.
Yeah.
Like, it obviously you need to have different things.
So you could make an argument then for, like, you could upload, say, FIFA 20, right? Yeah. And I could slide tackle the hell out of every single player on there. Does that count as violence now?
Exactly.
There's an argument that could be violent.
Exactly.
I'm actually
so the way I would fix YouTube is if anyone who uploads content has to label what type of content it is. If it's gaming, then it follows the rules for gaming. If it's beauty,
but haven't they got that already? Where you upload a video, you got to select the category.
But you don't need to select the category. It's not mandatory, is it?
No, I don't think
but
so.
If it was mandatory, if it said you can't upload this until you select a category, real red box warning, maybe it can't upload, it's grayed out one. Criteria up.
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Yay!
It's literally because we've been talking for an hour, so every half an hour we turn stuff off.
Okay. Anyway.
Cool.
Moving on.
Moving swiftly on. But yeah, so they should definitely do that. But let's go YouTube Rewind.
Right.
2019.
For a load of shit. Just saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Load of shit.
So, like, one of our favourite rewinds was 2013. So
that's like 6 years ago, mate.
No, but you had all of the sort of
trends
and everything from that year. So you had the, what's her name, Jenna Marbles, famous YouTuber. She's swinging on the wrecking ball because the same year as that. You had Smosh back when it was originally Antipadia and Ian Hecox, and they're like dressed up in like the Breaking Bad thing because the final year of Breaking Bad.
That's when they were on the truck, and then you had the slow mo guys. The slow mo guys on it, and
the guy's like, "You're a goat," and there's like a goat. They go and all that, and then you had Purtee just a little cameo at the end where he's just on the beach in Brighton. He just picks up the thing. I felt like it was just perfectly done. You had all the songs from that year. You had like "What's the Fox Say" and things like that.
And you had
Call
Me Maybe as well. Call Me Maybe as well.
I can't remember. No, I don't know. But you had all of them. You had all of the main people. You had a lot of people that weren't main people on YouTube, but were still well known in their respective sort of things, and they made it into a nice sort of overall video. Then a few years later, after that, then rather than having the little kid at the start who's like, "Rewind, what rewind?" and then that then becomes Will Smith, and then it's Will Smith going, And then I almost just Fortnite everywhere. It's like, oh my god. Then this year's one, then they didn't do any of that at all. It was just kind of like
it was a top 10 video.
It was like a top 10
That's
video.
all it was.
It's like we heard. We made mistakes before, or something like that, wasn't it? But we are listening or something, and then all of a sudden we got more of this, and just show you top 10 of this, top 10 of that, top 5 of this, and it just.
Okay.
Did you like it then?
I felt, compared to last year, it was so much better.
Right.
I felt like it's a transition video. It's a transition year. They don't want, because the thing with YouTube Rewind is that 2013 was really great, 2014 was really great, 2015 was, and they kind of dropped off.
Dropped off, yeah.
The thing is, the creativity of that, they spend a lot of money on YouTube Rewind. They have to get all these YouTubers who are not paid to then come up as well to make sure that like they got all the stuff. You get so many stories, so many YouTubers talking out. It's like, I was there for like a whole day in the rain, cold, and I'm only in the video for 2 seconds. Like, it's...
Yeah.
When you think about it that way, the top 10 video, it's a bit lame. You still get to see a lot of the trends, a lot of the videos especially, and stuff like that. They could have done something different with it, or they could have done something alongside it. Because I feel like what they should do is have that kind of top 10 is like the stats, YouTube Rewind stats, and then YouTube Rewind fun, whatever.
Yeah.
And have both of them. Because I personally really like statistics. I really enjoyed watching all those. Because I only watch certain things on YouTube. A lot of those videos I've never seen. A lot of things I'd never seen. I was like, oh, cool, this thing. And then some of the things were like...
So what I would have done, this is me thinking outside the box now, I would have... you could have still kept the top 10 and had that in the video. But it's Christmas time. So I would have done like a sort of Christmas kind of song. Hear me out on this now, because this is going somewhere. Christmas sort of song, and you could do 10, blah, 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 9, blah, blah, blah. Right? No. But then you have the YouTubers perhaps singing it, and then you have their content on. So then you've put a bit more creativity into it. Yeah? Maybe.
No, I still personally feel like the YouTube Rewind 2019 was more of a transition whilst they think of something to do for 2020, which is going to be the new decade, start of a new era.
But it's the last one of this decade.
What happened in this decade?
Or they could do that next year equivalently as well, what happened last decade. But I know what you mean. Like, it could have been more. Could definitely have been more. I feel like they got too much hate based on what they did, because it definitely looks like, let's get Mickey the intern to do a video for us. But I feel like the songs and the way it was working, I felt like it was okay. Like, it's the kind of video that you or I would put up and get like 100 views on.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel like it was amazing.
It felt like it was my sort of editing style as well.
Yeah, like it wasn't
very basic and not really.
Yeah, there's nothing amazing about it, but there's nothing like, I feel like it kept getting the hate just because of the amount of shit that's going on with YouTube at the moment.
But that's part of the problem. That's the stigma it's going to have, isn't it? Now?
Yeah.
And it's like whenever YouTube official Twitter account tweets something, straight away is people on there just give them hate and whatever. So
which is somewhat unfair, because it's not like they're a private company trying to make money. Yeah. What do you expect? Like,
what's your thoughts on YouTube gaming? The fact it doesn't really
still
exist
a thing?
anymore. Well, yes and no.
Is it still like?
So
I don't.
Whenever I go to my YouTube account now, it's got, we've moved your YouTube gaming subscriptions here, and I'm like, where are they? I can't find them.
The new the new video like manager thing is a pile of trash.
We're forced to. Yeah, you can opt out of it.
You can always update, but I need to, because when you go just look at your video manager, it's like, do you want to go back to the old way? Why? Because it's shit.
Yeah,
it's
I find this more time consuming, and I haven't got much time when it comes to making videos. So I go on today, I'm like, right, I got to add my blah blah blah. I need to put my cards in, or my transition at the end, or whatever, end card. So I click on it, and then it takes me to YouTube Studio end card. I'm like, what am I doing? And then it takes me ages to work it out. I'm like, I haven't even got my defaults on it. I don't know how to put defaults on it. I go back onto Classic then, and I just go back. It's like, we will have to use Studio. Like, yeah, whatever. So I skip that, and then I end up doing it the way I've always known how to do it. But it's going to be a point now where that's going to end, probably next year at some point, and we'll all have to use Studio. And Studio's rubbish.
Maybe I need to get my series done before then.
Yeah, it gives you the incentive to get it done and dusted.
Well, I can do it over Christmas since I'm all alone.
I know.
Everyone's abandoned
He's going to be on his own. He's going to be forced to watch mocap people rub bodies to each other.
That's not what you're gonna do too.
I just got an image of two people in swimsuits just not knowing what sex is, just like rubbing up and down like dolphins,
Oh
like
my
wet
God.
dolphins. Yeah.
Arr.
That's not a dog, that's a seal. That's a seal. So yeah,
I don't know. I don't like. The thing is, it's just like anything. Got to wait and see what happens. I think that YouTube is going to survive anything that's thrown at them. It's just whether or not, because YouTube wasn't it until very recently, basically losing Google money.
yeah.
Like until
Apparently.
very recently. I'm happy that they've made amends with PewDiePie.
Well, they kind of had to, didn't they? Sort of. He has so much influence on the platform.
Yeah.
You know. I like PewDiePie a lot.
I watch his videos all the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but
Because I got into
lot.
PewDiePie by accident back about 6 or 7, so long ago now, 7 years ago, while I was still a student at university. I was watching Smosh, and
I love Smosh.
they sort of went on to their sister channel, Smosh Games, and I used to love Smosh Games, and they had like the 6 of them on there. They had like what's his name, Lasercorn and
Lasercorn,
and Sohinki and all those
Sohinki
people,
and Joe
Mari
Mashai.
and Joe Mashai, and then the 2 Smosh guys, so they like the 6. And then every so often they'd have like a guest on there, and PewDiePie was a guest for the particular video. I think they were doing like Slender Man or something back when he was doing all those. I was like, this guy's quite funny, so then I subscribed to him and I ended up binge watching a load of his videos. I was like, oh my god, he's got millions of views. Because he was just hitting that sort of trajectory where he was like being propelled to the top.
I mean, yeah, but because Smosh used to be the top.
Smosh for the top, and he just blitzed them within like a year of him being on the channel. He just, whew, and now he's like the second biggest and
No, I
one of the
do
most
love.
successful.
do
But his
love a good
content's
PewDiePie.
always evolved and grown because he was quite childish, I suppose, back then because his audience was that's what he was sort of tailored
9-year-olds.
towards. You know, and the whole like bro fist, bro army, and all that. And then he had like what was his name? He had it in the Stefano, the whole like golden ornament from
Safari and Barrel.
Barrel, Mr. Barrel, yeah, and all of that. But he's sort of evolved now, and he's
He's grown up.
he's grown up. He's married
Oh,
now.
he's married,
He's
yeah.
got married this year. And his content, even though he takes the mick and stuff, it's done in a much more kind of way
Yeah.
you'd expect from somebody his age.
Yeah, definitely.
I like his content. I think he's very honest as well in his content.
He's incredibly honest. Yeah, I watch his stuff all the time. It's great. Not all the time. There are some things that I don't. I just like his wedding video was amazing.
Yeah,
I know.
it was.
She looked amazing.
Oh yeah, she did.
Random cat just appear. Cameo on the podcast again, and she's got.
Well, that's just rude.
So, 2 more topics left to
Oh
discuss.
god, here we go.
So I'll give you a choice which one you want to cover next.
Let's go with the general election and then finish on something actually nice.
So Star Wars will finish on then probably.
Yeah.
General election. Now you're gonna have a very good point of view with this because you are a French person,
French national, yeah.
French national who's been living in the UK
For 23 years.
23 years, yet you can't legally vote.
What are you doing?
I don't want it to disturb him.
Yet you can't legally vote.
I can't legally. I'm allowed to vote in local elections, but not in national elections,
Which is just
which is fantastic.
yeah.
Which means there are some people who can vote that I've been in the country longer than they have.
Oh my god, the cat's on the table.
Oh,
Oh,
it's just right clicked.
oh my!
Oh god, what's going on?
It's still recording. It's fine. Don't move your paw.
Oh god, everything.
That's what,
Hey.
that's what she thinks of politics. I vote for more cat food. 3 portions,
So,
ladies. Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to vote for the referendum.
Right.
I wasn't allowed to vote for the 3 general elections we had since.
And leave and remain.
No, I wasn't allowed to vote on the referendum.
So you see something that directly affects you in a very big way. You can't even vote on it.
Nope, I am unable to do so. So what annoys me, what really, really frustrates me is that I know a lot of people. I work in one of the government departments. I'm not going to tell you which, but I work in one of the government departments, which means I work around, the policies of the government and what they put through. I'm a centrist. That's what I lean towards. I currently feel like there's too much right wing in this government. I would prefer a left wing government. Thus, if I were to vote, I would vote one of the left wing parties.
Yeah.
In this country, the only left wing party that's worth voting for is Labour because
they're the
because
biggest,
they're the only ones who
yeah,
actually have a
yeah.
chance to.
Exactly, yeah.
When Theresa May was in power, and she had her mini election, which lost her a lot of seats, and Jeremy Corbyn had just come in, I felt like he was a very charismatic leader. I felt like he had the chance to put it through. I don't follow politics in the media that much. I don't understand why people have an
hate
issue with him.
A lot of people really hate him.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reasons why is because he's a communist.
Yeah.
Why is that a problem? We are no longer in the Cold War. The Russian Soviet Union has fallen for almost 30 years now. Actually, we're in 89. Exactly 30 years now. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me that that's a problem. And it's like, oh, you know, if anything, the vast majority of the people would be better off if it was a communist government, because the vast majority of people are poor as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, it frustrates me so much.
And of course, with Corbyn, he's got more of a working class background.
Yeah, and it's like
Boris Johnson.
People can relate to him more.
Yeah.
There was a interview that he did very early on in his as Prime Minister, where he was like, "Why would people relate to you?" That it was asked to Boris Johnson, and he couldn't answer.
Yeah. There's something the other day where
was it Channel 4? I can't remember.
He was walking in the street somewhere, and I think it was some poor person or something,
Yeah.
and they had a phone and they tried to show him something or whatever, and rather than doing what
it was
any human being you'd like to think would stop, chat, check they're okay, have a few quick conversation or whatever, and then move on. No, you get the phone, pocket, move on.
I know.
I'm not saying you got to stop for, you know.
No, I think it was a journalist was trying to show it was a picture of a boy in the NHS, wasn't it?
A boy in the NHS, yeah. Sorry, I got my facts wrong.
That's all right. No, he did do it with the homeless person.
There was a homeless person, though, wasn't there?
Oh my lord!
Oh,
it's still recording. Thank you.
Mid-podcast refreshments.
I might need a mid-podcast toilet break in a moment.
Oh dear.
Go and have a mid-podcast toilet break then.
We're going to finish the point.
Go on.
No, because so with the homeless, because he was walking down a street and talking to everyone that he was meeting on the way, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then he ignored a homeless person.
What was this?
Boris Johnson.
Bojo. Which is like...
I think my expression said wrong.
Yeah. But if you didn't see it, it was kind of like...
Beautiful.
That was actually a pretty good
No, but it's like any politician, even like fucking, I don't know, like Putin, you wouldn't walk down the street. But say...
He'd be carried on a magic carpet.
No, but say any politician would go down, even if it was a homeless person, would just, talk to them briefly. Anyone would do that as a decent human being. However, the issue is that I'm not going to say it. Tories are not decent human beings. The thing is, I have a lot of friends who vote Conservative, who vote Leave, but the thing is, a lot of my friends are people who are slightly intelligent, so they have good reason to vote. Like, they vote it because I know, like, in the wider thing, the reasons why they're voting is for reasons that I can understand. Like, there's one of my friends who I play Dungeons and Dragons with. He voted Leave in the referendum. He's voting Conservatives just because, mostly for the fact that it's Leave, or he doesn't want the Leave. He doesn't want Remain to just automatically win randomly, because he feels, his argument is that he wants the UK to have its own to make its own decision and be allowed to make its own mistakes, rather than have to deal with 26 other countries who are going to be like, no. And that's like, okay, I can understand that as a reason. Sure, that's you. That's his reason. I will allow. Just because I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Exactly.
Whether or not we think it's wrong is another matter.
Exactly. Like, I can disagree with his opinion, but at least it's an intelligent opinion. One of my colleagues on election morning, spoke to a young girl of about 19, 20 who was on the train with him. And he was like, "Are you going to vote?" After I said, yeah, I'm going to vote. Who are you going to vote for then? "Oh, well, I'm not voting Jeremy Corbyn because I don't like him, but Boris Johnson's funny, so he's going to get him vote." And it's like, What? How
too,
is this? How is this a thing?
It's too Americanized though, the way the election was done.
This is the thing, because so America's election, the whole of America's politics is actually based on the French, which is great. But obviously they've Americanized it, so it's shit.
Yeah.
The UK has one of the oldest parliaments and one of the oldest election ways in the entire world.
Yeah.
And they've somehow managed to fuck it up by making it more like America.
It's like
because it's people don't seem to understand that when you vote Labour, you're not voting Corbyn. You're voting Labour and the policies. You're voting for, like, Labour could be in fucking Conservatives have been in power for 10 years. They've had 3 prime ministers. You're not voting for David Cameron. You're not voting for Theresa May.
We didn't anyway.
You're not voting. Didn't vote for. You didn't vote for any of these people. Yeah. They're just elected by their own party as the leader of that party.
Because I think the important thing you need to do is what we did is read the manifestos to see, put them up side by side, the manifestos of all the parties, and look at everything that they're offering to do if they were to somehow be in power, and then think about your own person and what affects you directly. For us, we are NHS staff. So for the Tories that want to make cuts to the NHS, that's a big no-no for us. So that's a strike down for them straight away.
The Tories want to sell off the NHS.
Well, they want to sell off the NHS, but it's going to eventually be cut back until it's right. That's the way we see it. So we're making a kind of, I guess, a logical kind of argument for why we're going to vote for a party. Our sort of politics, for myself anyway, is more left-wing. That's probably down to being brought up in a left-wing mining community, surrounded by people who are also left-wing.
Yeah.
And we see the world through that sort of working class kind of lens, I guess. So naturally, I'm going to go towards Labour when I vote. However, I find with a lot of politicians, it's hard to trust them.
Yeah, you can't.
And this was the first time, because I voted for Labour before, this was the first sort of election, or first time I voted.
You know it's gone off again, didn't you?
Oh. So are we getting this picked up, are we?
No, you are.
Oh, Jesus!
We were on this. It's just going to have a little
fine.
background.
You can have a little background of the election, and Boris go like this.
Just, yeah. I forgot my point now. My point was...
Can't trust politicians.
Can't trust politicians. And this was the first time where I was thinking, do I really want to vote Labour? Or am I going to go with another left-wing party? But I thought, well, Labour's the one, like you said, is going to have the best chance. Therefore, I voted Labour. In our constituency of Merthyr Tydfil and Rumney, Labour got in again, which is the third time now, I think.
It must be the battery.
Ah.
Oh, bloody hell.
That's okay.
Yeah, it says charge the battery. So the rest of it's going to have to be just...
Woo! Audio.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh. Well, you need to pee soon anyway.
Yeah,
so.
I'm going to go now.
Yeah, let's do that.
Right, well, let's have a little break and return to...
I'm going to have to make so many edits in this podcast. It's going to be ridiculous.
That's alright, Elle.
The end of the day.
She's come upstairs.
Okay.
Rex had to use the toilet. We're back from a quick
Yeah,
break.
sorry, go up my bladder.
How dare you use my toilet?
Oh, I'm so horrible.
My toilet seat has now been used by a Latvian, an Irishman, and a Frenchman.
Oh my god, we sound like plumbers. No, so yeah, going back on the election, back to topic. It irks me because I mean you were talking about you're part of the NHS, obviously you're left leaning.
Yeah.
I'm more centrist, but that's because I have in France more right leaning, here definitely more left. But it's like I don't understand why people in government departments still vote Tory after they've seen like in the department that I've been, we've not had a pay rise. Or obviously I've not been working there for the entire period, but for 10 years there's not been a pay rise.
That's crazy.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
I think it's like
so
1% basically.
Do you have like high staff turnover then? Is that
dude. So we started a year ago in August.
Right.
There was an intake of 250. There are currently only 40 people from that people who are still there.
Bloody hell.
All of them have either moved on to different departments or quit. That's insane. And that's apparently normal.
Oh,
it's
well.
the same with the NHS though, isn't
But
it?
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the thing is, most of the people who have stayed on are European nationals.
Do you find that we're not staying where you work or anything because we might get you in trouble?
Yeah.
Do you find that there's people who are in a management position or higher, which are on a lot more money,
Yeah.
but seem to do far less?
So one of the things that we all discuss a lot is the fact that all the managers and senior management, what they do is they sit around their desks and gossip about what the other people have been going on about.
Yeah.
Rather than actually doing any decent work. And then so we have this really annoying new like stats thing. So first thing we were told, this job is not about stats. Fuck off. They put now this weird little pie chart thing. So already pie chart's the worst graph imaginable. It makes no, because it's all relative to itself, which means that the chart makes no sense basically. They go down on us for not having the right numbers and stuff. It's not about stats. Around numbers, they'd go around doing fuck all the whole work week, and they expect us to pull up our belt buckles and do everything.
Pull up your socks.
Pull up the socks.
That's the thing you were looking for.
Yeah, I did a Frenchism there. Sorry. But yeah, it's just frustrating. I love the job. I hate the management, but I think that's the case for everywhere.
Yeah.
The thing is, there are some places where management is great, and when it's great, you never leave because you don't want to have a shit management.
No, of course you don't.
But yeah, it's just awful, and it frustrates me that a lot of this people don't associate it with the current government. They associate it with just every job's like that. It's like, yeah, but be the change. Like,
yeah, people seem just to plod along, or happy to plod along, without trying to influence things and just go to work 9 till 5, live your miserable life, and that's it. But you can change it in a way.
You don't need
can,
to.
you know.
It's so weird. I don't know how much of that is the mentality of the previous generation, who had to deal with Thatcher, who were like, after whatever she did, they were like, well, at least things can't get worse. So I guess we just have to deal with what we've got and be grateful for it.
What I don't get about the previous generation is though that they always say, "Oh, your generation is so like this and so that." And I'm like, yes, but your generation is to blame because your generation is the one who brought up our generation.
Yeah, they don't seem to understand, and they think we're ungrateful. But it's like, no, we just know it can be better. We're trying to, because they built their generation so that we could grow up in a nicer society that didn't have to deal with waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to clean the chimneys. And we want the same thing for our kids.
Yeah.
We want them to not have to do that and to deal with the crap, to deal with a burning atmosphere that's going to melt everything up. Sorry.
That's fine.
I know you don't understand global warming.
Yeah.
Right, just in case you didn't get it.
I did get it, yeah, climate change.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing that back up again.
What is climate?
No, we discussed that in the last one. No, we're all going there again. Yeah.
But yeah, it irks me that people don't seem to realise that. It just irks me. It annoys me. And as a French person who's not allowed to vote in the country I've been living in for 23 years, that irks me even more. Because then, and this is the point that I wanted to make at the beginning, that I sort of had an epiphany recently. A lot of people come up to me and they say, "Oh, who you voting for?" And then when I was like, "I can't vote," and they're like, "Wait, you can't vote?" It's like people don't realise that I can't vote. They don't realise that the European nationals who live here, who work with and for them a lot of the time, can't vote and don't have a say. They assume then, wait, you're not dual citizenship? It's like, no, I don't have £1,600 lying around to pay for my citizenship. I'm not going to, because that's a horrendous amount of money. Do you know something that I found out recently? The European average and the European law for most countries is it can't be more expensive than it costs, which means that the average cost in Europe is €200 for a citizenship.
Yeah.
So there's currently a lawsuit that's been triggered by a charity with the government to lower it down for children, but it's like,
That's disgusting.
it is disgusting, and that is Britain in a nutshell. They get away with it, and whatever, they can do what they want. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I at the moment I'm just going to wait and see, and hopefully I don't A, get kicked out, or B, have to move.
But surely they can't just like go get out. I mean, if they could do that, then surely they would have done it with all the illegal immigrants by now.
Well, I mean, what have you just said? Illegal immigrant. They should be able to do that already.
But they don't.
No, because
my
and then they blame Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. That's the general election. Hopefully, there won't be another one for a while. But hopefully, now that the Conservatives have a proper majority, not made up of the DUP who suck and are actual racists, they'll actually be able to put some stuff through that will actually be good. Like, let's be optimistic to an extent.
Yeah.
But
Probably not.
But they won't. Like, if they do sell off the NHS and people are like, oh, I didn't think they would do that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what? You're an idiot for voting Conservative. Let's just hope it doesn't trigger another recession. Let's just hope that...
Well, that's the fear of it now, isn't it?
Let's just hope that things all go good. Let's hope that now that they've got that, they're going to push Brexit through. Let's hope that the Brexit, they actually get a deal that's decent.
As opposed to no deal, which is what Boris Johnson doesn't really care about.
No, he doesn't care about it. I would still... like, obviously, Michelle Barnier came out to be like, oh yeah, a deal is not going to be there until 2021 because we've got so much to work on. Like, what we've got forward is, like, scaffolding more so than an actual building. So, we will see. But yeah, I'm very distraught by this subject. I feel on the day of the election results, I felt worse than I did on the day of the referendum results.
Oh, well.
Which
Makes
sucks.
you feel any better? I felt as if we shot ourselves in the foot as well.
I mean...
I couldn't believe it because I think we were sort of optimistic and hoping that people
I knew
would.
they would get in.
I
I
thought.
didn't think they would get in with the majority that they did.
No, I thought it was going to be hung parliament. I
Yeah,
thought it was going to be close enough that the Conservative have a slight majority, but if Labour and SNP got together, that they would actually form a government.
Yeah.
I thought that's the level it was going to be. And the SNP did amazing,
Yeah.
to be fair. Like, good on them.
40,
I hope...
48 seats.
I honestly hope that
52 in it.
they got 52 in total.
In total?
52.
Yeah.
They had 48 last time.
Ah, right.
52
Yeah,
this
they
time.
gained.
Yeah, they gained
so
some
they gained.
seats. Yeah. So basically, they've got all bar 2 in Scotland. Or something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
they Conservative, I think, both of them.
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah. I hope that they get an independence vote and that they leave so that I can move to Scotland.
Sounds like a good plan, actually.
Do you know what? I'd be up for that.
I'd be up for that as well. We'll all go to Scotland and live in the
That's
mountains.
literally... I don't know how they're going to... Well, actually, that'd be good. You could make, like, European cities just full of all the European people living in Britain in, like, the rest of the UK.
Yeah.
We'd be happy there.
Do you think Scotland are going to push for that now, independence?
I mean, yes.
Well, that's what they want.
That's what they wanted. They...
That's why they voted to leave a lot of Scots. So
Yeah,
they could
because-
get a referendum.
But when they had
to
the first
become
independence referendum, it was
so close.
It was
close.
close.
It
was
was literally like the European referendum.
Yeah, but...
you were talking like a few thousand votes when it was nothing, was it?
The thing... This is another thing of... I understand why Scotland voted SNP. I mean, if they had voted Labour, they still wouldn't have got a majority. But... Because when Labour were coming in, one of Labour's policies in the manifesto was allowing Scotland to have another referendum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And Tories are not going to allow that. That's the issue. But I don't... Are they allowed to... Can they do another referendum without Tory support? Without... No, they wouldn't be able to, wouldn't they? Unless the Queen magically goes on her deathbed.
Give Scotland back to them.
No. Well, she's the Queen. She technically is ruler of both. So you can just be like...
She could just do it,
She
couldn't
could
she?
literally go, I'm going to give my crown to Charles for England and the rest, and you can keep Wales. However, Scotland, you can go to William.
I hate the fact that, like, with Wales especially, we're so intrinsically linked with England.
We're not really a country.
It's because you're
Yeah.
a principality.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's annoying because we're like,
yeah, it is annoying.
we call ourselves a country and stuff, and then we're treated as such.
You have a national anthem and everything.
Yeah,
and
a flag, national anthem, our own language. We're treated as such in so many different things. We have a Welsh Assembly government. We have all of this sort of stuff in place, and then it's like, yeah, but you got to do what England says. It's annoying, isn't it?
Mm.
But then, it's like you said before, because I talked to you about independence, you said that wouldn't work. We're a bunch
No,
of
it
farmers.
we literally
You
can't.
have a good, clean water supply,
Which we give to England.
which you give to England.
Which we could cut off, and then England would be screwed anyway. But
Yeah. Maybe our
Doesn't
tourism would
matter.
help.
I don't think Wales would. The thing is, Wales would never work independently as it stands at the moment. Until if it has better industries, then yeah, sure. However, as a conglomerate of, if it was with, say, Scotland, Ireland, as one united union,
like
it would
work. Nations or something.
Yeah, a Celtic, United Celtic or Gaelic nations. Take Cornwall with you.
We probably would as well, wouldn't we?
And then join up with Ireland.
Ireland.
Get yourself a little bridge between Wales, Ireland.
That's like I said to you off camera, like out of the 4 unions, it was only England that had the majority of Conservatives because...
Well, England's bigger.
Yeah, but Labour dominates Wales still, even though the Conservatives did gain, I think, 7 seats in Wales, and most of North Wales.
Yeah, but 2/3 of the population also live in South Wales Valleys.
Yeah, which is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Scotland's is SNP. Northern Ireland, I think that was a mixture of Labour and whatever their parties are, Sinn Féin or someone over there. Yeah, so I don't think there's any Conservatives in Northern Ireland, actually.
Isn't there a Republican Party?
Sinn Féin?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's a Republic, not Northern.
Possibly. Because that's the other sort of thing.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, Jack!
That's the other thing that came out of the election, wasn't it? Was what's going to happen with Northern Ireland. And they were on about like the borders and the trade.
Well, now that the DUP's buggered off, Northern Ireland is now no longer in the hands of the Northern Irish.
So they could technically...
They could do what they want with it.
They could become a united island at some stage, possibly.
I mean, I don't know the Irish stuff, really, so I don't want to make any comment that might offend people.
Yeah.
I personally, without looking too much into it, understand that there's some kind of religious-based rift between Northern and South.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's also the troubles they had as well.
Yeah, but that was because I think it was religious-based Catholics versus Protestants, but I don't know how much of it is, if it still is a problem, or it probably is. To be fair, probably.
I think so, because I think it was still having trouble in like the 80s, weren't they? As recent as that.
Still having trouble in the 90s.
Yeah.
Never mind in the 80s.
Whatever. I don't want to make any further comments because I don't want to offend anyone. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah.
Educate us.
Next week's guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. So we'll see what happens. And then France has its election in a while. It's not for a while now. 3 years, 2 years.
Can you vote on that one?
US. Yeah, I'll be able to. I can vote nationally in France, but not locally. Believe it or not.
That's crazy.
It's the other way around in France.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no local French MP for Cardiff, is there?
No, but like.
But I can vote. Yeah, it is. Yeah. But the thing with voting nationally, because the thing is, voting nationally in Britain, you're technically still voting locally because you're voting for an MP in the local area.
Yeah.
Whereas in France, I'm voting for a member of the Assembly. Luna's carrying around some string.
Is a Scooby.
In France, when I vote nationally, I vote for a representative of all French abroad. So it's someone who has my best interests for being abroad. So obviously you want someone who's very charismatic, who'll be able to discuss either like with those countries we live in, or for policies that deal with us when we're abroad. So things like, one of the things back in the day was military service. So if you're living in France, you used to have to do military service, but if you're abroad, you used to have to actually fly back to France to do like a week of military service and then fly back rather than the full year.
It's like that in Israel, isn't it? Like you have to do military service.
Yeah.
It's like in South Korea as well. Yeah. So obviously, based on that, and so my vote in France still matters because if, say, we vote someone in who's just like an asshole when it comes to foreign policy, it's very likely we're going to get buggered back to our countries. Or if they're just like, I don't know. Either way, it's important. It feels like it matters more. Also in France, it's very based, so similar to America, you vote for the president and then you vote for the party rather than you vote for the party and that automatically elects the leader. So yes, in France, we could, if Macron had been voted but his party had not, that would have been very fun because we would have a president who doesn't have a majority. Which can happen.
Yep. So, I think that's probably enough for the political talk. By which point all 7 of my viewers have buggered off and have left the video.
I think you underestimate Tsunami's boredom.
He's probably still watching.
Yeah. Or listening at this point.
Listening at this point, yeah.
So gather around everyone have got something to show you.
he's,
And that's the sound of
he's the best educated Latvian when it comes to French and Welsh politics at the moment.
Probably.
We'll finish off on something a bit more light-hearted then. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Is that what it's called?
Or Rise of the Skywalker.
Oh.
Or whatever the hell is Rising of Skywalkers. I don't really know. I've come across spoilers, I think. Potentially, that apparently they leaked. Not 100% certain if they are. I'm not going to mention any of them, of course, because that's wrong.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the film's not out yet, and I want to go see it.
And I was, one of those people that kind of got spoiled before The Force Awakens and knew exactly what happened to Han Solo and everything. So I kind of skewed my view a little bit, so I wouldn't want to wish on anybody else. So I won't mention that. But are you looking forward to it?
I am.
Are you hoping that they make this better than the last one, The Last Jedi?
Well, always hope that.
Do you think it can be salvaged?
Better.
Probably, yeah. Because the Last Jedi did kind of, assassinate Luke Skywalker's character to a certain extent.
Yeah, the J.J. Abrams, who's making the last movie, did an interview recently relating to it. Because he was like, when he made The Force Awakens, he left so many character
plot holes
and plots left open at the end.
It's what he does.
So then,
Rian Johnson came in.
Whatever the second. What was the movie?
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. God, I'm so good with the new names. When The Last Jedi was done, he closed off a lot of plots.
Yeah.
But he made it in such a way, and J.J. Abrams says this. He made it in such a way that he closed the plots and made you realize that you don't actually care. Because they're not important. Whereas a good filmmaker would have closed them and made it's all linked into one central plot.
In The Force Awakens, the biggest questions you had from the film were who is Rey's parents, who's Snoke, what's his motivations, Ben's thing to the dark side, Ben Solo, aka Kylo Ren, what's his big thing going to the dark side, where does Luke fit into all of this? Yeah. And the film is like, oh, Luke's in the film, and he's like at the end just staring at the camera going, hi. And that was it. And then the Last Jedi.
You see Snoke and he dies.
Yeah, Snoke dies, killed off. It doesn't matter. Rey's parents. Are we gonna get that answer? And it's like Kylo Ren says, "You know the truth about your parents, don't you? They sold you for drink money." And that's it. It's like, what? Really? Just a big fuck you to your audience, basically. It was it was stupid. And then so because J.J. Abrams is doing the last movie, I'm hoping that he's going to do a good job. Also, hope he's not going to just leave plots open at the end of the fucking movie. Well, okay, you are aware the thingy's going to be in the movie, aren't you? The Emperor. Which the big question is how.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
don't understand. I also don't understand why they put that in
I know why they put it in the trailer, because they want to try and sell tickets and get people to watch it, don't they? And they know that he's a big... Because that's what they've done in this trilogy, is keep bringing fan favourites back. Because Lando Calrissian's in this one, he's in the trailer, and the Emperor. So that's two old characters, two OG, original trilogy characters they brought back. They brought back Luke in the Last Jedi properly, and they also... properly is not the right word, but they brought him back. Didn't use him properly. And you've had 3PO, Chewie, Han they brought back, killed him off. Leia they brought back. Can't bring her back now, obviously, because Carrie Fisher unfortunately died. But they're going to use CGI for her, and they've had her in the trailer with some CGI as well, haven't they? So, but I feel like they're trying to create their own story, Disney are, which is great, because they've got the license to do what you can with it. But they're relying so much on the past Star Wars films and the past characters. Like, what they should have done is just set this 100 years after Return of the Jedi and just done a blank canvas and just done their own story. Yeah, they should have. Because technically the prequels happened, 50-ish years before the original trilogy? So I'm a big nerd, and I'll build up proof as well. Okay, so Phantom Menace happened, then it's 12 years after Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones to Revenge of the Sith is a 3-year gap, so the Clone Wars encompasses 3 years. Then you've got a 19-year gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, but in that time frame the Solo movie takes place. Rogue One, which I really loved, that's the best one they've done, Disney, in my opinion. I really like Solo as well. Yeah, I like Solo. Interesting.
The thing is, right, this is something that I get, a lot of my friends are like, you like all the shit? Because I actually like The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But I like it not for the story, because Star Wars stories is, at this point, pointless.
Yeah.
I like it just for the visuals and like the
I
funny child
One of the
stuff.
things I praised The Last Jedi on were the visuals. Like when they did the whole Star Destroyer into hyperspace thing, and they've freezed the thing for 20 seconds, and the fact you go to the movie theatre at the start, it says this film will have a section in it where the sound goes off. Don't worry, it's not like an issue or thing. It's meant to do for creative effect. It warns you. So the fact they tried going out there with stuff like that, like when they're on the Salt Planet crate at the end of the film, and they walk across like it's got blood, and it's like, oh no, it's salt, and it's just the way I thought stuff like that was great. You know, a really good choice, but narratively wise, it's shackled because it's.
But the thing is,
you know,
I don't think there's been a good Star Wars narrative. If you when you look just at the films, not like at the Clone Wars or whatever. I think that the only good story is Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
I think that's literally the only.
What every single Star Wars film?
No, what am I on about? No, The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
there we go.
So when Luke gets his hand chopped off by Darth Vader and finds out his father,
episode 5.
Yeah.
Revenge.
It goes back to my point earlier about
Empire Strikes
Desmond and Assassin's Creed and the thing I said about Luke and the redemption arc. It had all of that in there. It had farm boy turn hero and the trials and tribulations he goes through, isn't it?
It's just that film, and the fact was it only had like, you've only got 3 real scenes. You got Hoth, you got space stuff. He goes back to Dagobah, isn't he, during that time?
Yeah.
And then you got Cloud City, and then that's it.
Dagobah.
Dagobah.
What the hell are you on about? Dagobah. It's even in the films. God damn it. Bloody French. I'm going to ask you about Rey as a character. Do you think she's a Mary Sue?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. There's so many videos online that I've watched.
I mean...
A bit shit.
Like, they need to realise that they can write characters like women and men in terms of like, yeah, they've got a bit of difference, but they're still characters. Like they can do the same things. Yeah. Like, it's insane. So, like, how can you not, like, I don't understand why they can't.
So a lonely girl, we assume, a lonely girl who's on this planet is just surviving off like 4 portions, quarter portions or whatever, right?
Yeah.
She's able to like fight all these like stormtroopers and stuff, and she's able to do lightsaber combat with Kylo Ren.
Whereas when you look at Anakin from the first to second movie, like you said, it's been 12 years, isn't it?
Yeah, 12 years.
Like he's been through 12 years of training. That's why he can do all that shit. Rey, what was it like? Boom.
Yeah, but even with Anakin, like in Attack of the Clones, people shit over Attack of the Clones. But one of the things it does really well, it shows you how mature Anakin is as a Jedi. Yeah. Because he's like master and all this thing with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's constantly telling him off at the movie. Even at the end of the film when Padme falls from the clone trooper ship. Yeah. And she's like, Padme! And he's like, Anakin, get your head in. We gotta go after Dooku. If we go after Dooku, we can win this war now. And he's so conflicted. And because he goes charging in and goes, I'm taking him now, he gets bolted with lightning in the throat. Because he makes mistakes as a character. Rey hasn't made any. Has she? None that I can think of.
She hasn't.
She's been perfect at everything. She can fly the Millennium Falcon without any training. Yeah. She can gun down TIE fighters. She can fight Sith Lords.
Yeah. She can kill Snoke.
She can take the Millennium Falcon straight down to Crate, save all of her friends on the planet by moving rock straight away. Bear in mind, she didn't really train with Luke, did she? Luke ignored her.
Yeah, basically. Nothing happens there. Oh, yeah, it just frustrates me. It frustrates me because there are, in series and other things like that, there are so many good female characters that have been written.
Ahsoka Tano.
And it's so fucking...
Ahsoka Tano in the Clone Wars. Female character, alien, one of the best characters in the Clone Wars. Yes, she is one of the main... You haven't watched it.
I haven't watched Clone Wars, so I don't know.
She's one of the main
characters. I know that it's an incredible series.
So they did the film wasn't that good, but that's what introduced her, and she's basically given to Anakin as her Padawan. It's like, you've got to train her, this will help mature you. So it's part of Anakin's character, like, this will help mature you because you've now got the responsibility of looking after somebody else. At the same time, she's very immature and they're both very similar, and she takes after him in a way where she becomes a bit reckless in the way, but then she ends up surpassing him because he's so conflicted and got like dark side tendencies in the Clone Wars. Like there's one particular scene where there's like this politician that's like in love with Padme, and he has to protect Padme on a mission. So then he ends up going full on punching him and stuff, and he like has to try and calm down. Whereas Ahsoka like learns how to control her thing and become a really good...
She's flawed.
Yeah.
And that's why we like her.
Yeah. And
The
she
Rey
gets,
has
but
flaws,
you
yeah.
see her get defeated by like General Grievous and Count Dooku and stuff. She loses clone troopers. Like she gets close to some of the clone
And
troopers.
she grieves
She grieves them when they get killed. So you see her grow as a character,
Yeah.
and they've got her now in the new Star Wars Rebels thing, and she's like a rebel kind of leader sort of thing there as well, which is it's done quite well. All of it makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't understand because it's not. I'm someone who someone who plays D&D, I create a big world, so I have to create a lot of characters, and I find it very easy to create female characters as much as it is to create male ones, just because it's easy to create. Like, I don't understand how it's so difficult.
Yeah.
I don't understand if they just created Rey. Oh, you know, it's a strong woman that people can look up to.
So do you think
like,
there's
but
She's not though.
there's a difference between a strong woman and just a woman.
So do you think there's an agenda with Disney then? Like, I have to ask you the tough question because the reason why I
Are
say
they trying
that,
to sell?
yeah, because Kathleen Kennedy, I know who she is. She's like one of the big honchos behind Disney and Star Wars and everything, right? You haven't got a clue what I'm about.
Nope.
She went to like some convention or something last year, and she was wearing t-shirts saying "The Force is female." She's all for like women's rights and thing, but to the point where she's shoving it down your throat. in your
She's
Star
one of
Wars.
the
Yeah,
crap feminists.
yeah, basically. Yeah. So
All right, yeah, no,
You think-
I wouldn't see why. It's like when you look at Captain Marvel,
yeah,
like the film itself was okay. Like, it wasn't the best Marvel film out there.
We haven't seen it.
no,
Well,
I've heard about it. So
yeah, I mean, me and my brother went to see it together. My brother's really into when it comes to like, he watches a lot of videos, not conspiracy based videos, but like looking at like feminism and stuff, and why like social justice warriors and why there are problems there and stuff like that. And he really likes to get into the psychology and that stuff. We went to see Captain Marvel, and he went into it having all these people had sent videos around being like, oh, you know, it's all about women and it's like whatever, it's a problem, you know, oh, I don't want a women superhero. And he thought it was going to be like super in your face feminism. There are one or two comments in the film that, they're a bit way too much in your face, but it's a film. It's a good film where instead of a man, it's a woman. But that's the issue. Instead of they literally just done a cardboard cut of your man and put a woman instead. So it's an okay movie, but it's not. And I guess when you look at when you look at the original Alien,
yeah,
and with Sigourney Weaver, like it could be a man playing that character because there's literally no difference between the two. Like, she does stuff that
Femininity.
there's no exactly, there's no difference. So it's great that it's a woman, but there's no difference. It's not a woman.
Like a woman.
No,
It's
exactly.
A woman that's acting like a man.
Which is where we lose the whole feminist stuff. Like, so to an extent, I get the whole feminist, feminism and everything is all about equality, but it's like, yes, but we're all different.
But also allow a woman to be a woman.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
a man
And
to be a
then
man.
to have the ability for a woman to play a woman on the screen, and for everyone to be happy with that, that's feminism. Like, rather than people complaining because, oh, we see a woman who's going through her period. It's like, yes, that is women.
It's all natural.
Exactly. It's like it just bugs me that's A, a bug, and B, people seem to assume that the way to do feminism is just to make a female character play a male role.
yeah.
Which is when we get things like Tomb Raider.
I think one of the things that I can think of where female characters are done really well is probably Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I was literally thinking that.
To an extent, because you had certainly towards the end you had Daenerys Targaryen, who one of the main characters, female, goes through all of her struggles, trials, tribulations. She's raped at the start of the thing. She is basically enslaved. She then goes from that darkest kind of moment, the whole abortion with her child and Khal Drogo, from all of that to freeing people, to think, okay,
And then season 8.
and season 8, yeah.
Yeah.
But if we forget season 8 for a minute, up until that point, you'd seen a great sort of character arc. Cersei Lannister again.
I was literally about to say the best female character in Game of Thrones without a
It's
shadow of
yeah,
doubt
it's
is Cersei.
Lena Headey is
definitely.
Cersei Lannister, yeah,
because
because
of what motivates her.
yeah.
And it's what motivates most
Yeah,
women
children.
with children.
Yeah, she saw all three of her children get murdered. Well, Tom killed himself, but
he killed himself due to the
events
situation and
because she had to kill everybody else who were her rivals because they were literally going to kill her. and she was back against the wall, boom, blow them all up, and then Tom was like,
that was such an incredible end to a season.
It was really good at the end of season 6. To be fair,
That piece of music.
yeah, I liked the 7 music, and seeing what's the name, not Loras, the cousin, Cersei's cousin Lannister with the long curly hair. He ended Lancel Lannister. He was like
he calls himself a Game of Thrones fan.
Oh, it's been a while since I've watched it. I've been neglecting sort of Game of Thrones because of the way it ended, and just seeing him crawl towards the thing. He got stabbed by the children and the little kids, and the spiders. And then if you just see in the glare in his eyes, the green fire. And, yeah. But Cersei Lannister, Daenerys Targaryen, Arya Stark. No? You didn't think Arya Stark?
I like Arya.
Yeah.
She's not a feminist though.
No, she's
an example of.
She's
Is
that
has
because
no
of the end?
femininity.
But is that because of the end of the show, or just in general?
No, in general, I mean, that's some women can be like that. That's fair enough. But she is not a feminist icon. Like the fact that she's a woman, you can maybe see it, but she herself, her character could be played by a boy or a girl.
Okay.
It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't.
Okay, so
The character would still get to the same end.
Yeah.
I'm having fun with this. So another one, Sansa Stark.
I feel like.
More feminist than Arya, but still not completely.
I mean, when you look at all the abuse that she suffered, more so like because a lot of it is sexual abuse.
But she's a shaft of soul.
But
She's not
yeah.
a feminist.
It was kind of psychological abuse with.
Yeah, I mean,
with
but
thingy.
I mean the way that her character ended with her gaining power and like stuff, you can kind of see the path that it took. I would argue that maybe less so than the previous characters that we've discussed.
Yeah.
But she is still to an like a version of a feminist, of a femininity of stuff, although not quite as strong as Daenerys or Cersei.
Okay. Marjorie Tyrell.
No, she's
No?
a slut.
Well, she was to an extent, I think. Yeah.
In a way, but
She used her femininity to get power.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. That's what she used it for. There was no real motivation behind it apart from the fact she wanted power.
But to an extent,
which again would be something that could have been played by
Well,
a man.
yeah, but to an extent, you could say she's using her femininity to get power.
She's using sex,
Yeah,
which is what women use when they got nothing else.
yeah. I'm not arguing this point. I felt like her character was literally just sex.
Yeah, probably was.
That's basically all it was.
Yeah. I mean, think of any more Game of Thrones female characters. I think we've named
Pretty much named
most.
all of them.
Yeah.
Ygritte?
Ygritte, yeah.
Ygritte. Is it?
Ygritte.
Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne of Tarth is a fantastic. But
Yeah. I mean, she was wasted in Star Wars then, Gwendolyn Christie. Captain Phasma.
But again, fantastic character, but just could have been played by sort of.
anyone, yeah. Well, I mean, like Brienne of Tarth is such an interesting look at a woman in a for that because you have to look at it as
A
a
woman in a man's
historical way of a woman in a man's world because she's made the choice to be masculine.
Yeah.
But let's face it, a woman in a man's
And
world
then-
would not be allowed to become a knight or anything like that.
No.
No, that's true.
So
Well, I
maybe-
don't know because historically speaking, there are
But that's- I think-
examples of that happening.
I think that's how her big thing was the fact that she got knighted in season 8 and then
Then instantly became crying woman.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
she was and then
she
she
became weak.
Yeah.
finished
She
off
got
as
what she
being
wanted, she became weak,
she was
and
King's
that's-
Guard then, wasn't she, at the very end, because she had the white book and everything, didn't she? And
yeah.
she wrote Jamie's little thing in there and everything. Oh, Game of Thrones, how you broke my heart.
And broke everyone's heart, I think.
I think we are happy to end this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apologies that we're on audio at the end of this podcast, but the camera unfortunately
Could not live
with
our faces.
With our
for too
faces.
long.
Yes, and also any jingling that you may or may not have heard was the cats.
I also like how at the end this became a 3-person podcast.
These podcasts are quite progressive. They just happen.
Unlike our society, this podcast is progressive.
like Thanos in Avengers.
Oh yeah, you talk about it in the last podcast. Did you not like Infinity War or Endgame? You liked Infinity War. We didn't like Endgame.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind aspects of Endgame. I didn't mind that.
There was aspects of Endgame that were really good, but then I was just like, it's sort of a, hey, if you get it all wrong, we can just rewrite it all. So that's fine, that's cool, you do that.
I don't think it's a bad film. I think
Compared to the others, it's not.
I think Infinity War was so good.
Very disagree with that.
I think Infinity War was so good that Endgame was never gonna quite live up to that hype.
I watched
expectations.
Endgame 3 times in the cinema. Cried every time.
That's obsessive.
I watched, and then I bought the DVD and watched Infinity War and Endgame back to back. They're one film effectively, like they're one film split into 2. They were very much like Lord of the Rings. They were filmed at the same time.
Yeah.
Not the same time as Lord of the Rings, but
no. It's good visuals for back then.
Yeah. No, the 2 films don't live separately. They are one film. And I feel like Endgame, although, yeah, the whole time rewind thingy, you got so many character closures. Like, obviously, I'm assuming you've not seen every single Marvel film.
No, we haven't.
So,
God, no.
As someone who has seen every single Marvel film, who absolutely adores the Marvel films, I feel like Endgame was such an incredibly good way to wrap everything up and ready itself for the next phase.
Yeah.
And then they went, and now we're releasing 3 more films.
Yeah. I mean, they're starting phase 4 straight away, but I think a lot of fans of Marvel are going to stop there and are going to see this as the end of, definitely the end of an era, but the end of Marvel in terms of, I've grown up with these characters. Especially for me, this is why I cry, because I started off with Iron Man.
Yeah.
I started out, literally, that was the first, second film I ever saw in the cinema. Literally, the second film I ever saw in the cinema was Iron Man, after Chamber of Secrets was the first. But hey. So, I followed that whole story all the way through, and then you get the end of Endgame, and I'm, shattered in tears. I've been with Hannah for 1 month, and she's already seen me cry like a...
Like a blubbering mess.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then, it's been a ride. But yeah, so that was my last final point, sorry.
Great, okay. So we're definitely going to end it this time now. So if you are one of the 7 people that were able to hang on till the end, thank you, Susu. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it. And big thank you to my guest, Lord Rexasaur.
Anytime. Thanks for having me. Thanks for your toilet. And for
being one of
all the Pepsi.
one of the many sages to have used my bathroom and my toilet.
One of the many people on YouTube.
I've had 4 Europeans use my toilet now. Or 3, I think.
Well, you're European.
I know.
It might be not much longer.
No, just because you come out of the European Union doesn't mean that you're no longer European.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke.
European.
Yes.
Ethnically European, politically not so much.
Let's move on.
And thank you to Panda for being camera lady,
until the end.
being caterer of the Pepsi, and cat whisperer, and
third guest.
And third guest, unofficially.
First guest and third guest.
Unofficially.
We just sort of came in, didn't you?
I don't care.
She lives here.
I know.
Exactly.
This is what happens when you get married, alright?
Yeah.
They trail along and interrupt podcasts.
Anyway, guys.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching and listening. I've been Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales. Until next time, goodbye.